After spending over 6 weeks in Mexico, it was time for us to move on. The hardest part about this journey was saying goodbye. Goodbye to our friends, goodbye to our home. But there's always something magical about hitting the road. So many adventures lay ahead. Join us today on our trip to Sand Rock, Alabama. We're Chico and Moritz, and we built this box truck to get outside and explore. Join us for van life reality on the road to Pitches.
Alright, everything's mostly cleaned up. Only took us like all morning to do.
3, 2, 1. Moritz Chiko, adios!
Ah, it's so cold! Damn it, I should have pushed more in there. Goodbye. Cookie baby. She doesn't like looking at the camera. Alrighty, another. I was not ready for that. Another chapter comes to an end.
Yeah, for those of you who saw our Sedona episode, you probably saw our friends there too. So they made it all the way over to here, and we had a big reunion, and now a big
Departure.
Departure.
Divorce. Oh. How you know when you've got true friends, when they're willing to drive hundreds, if not over, is it like 1,000 kilometers?
Well, probably since we departed.
Yeah, to cross paths with your friends again on the road. That's how you know you're true friends. What is it? Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no. The locals. It's time to move on. Our plans are to start heading back north, get to some more mild pastures. It's getting quite hot down here in Mexico, and our plan today is to cross back through Laredo via the Columbia Bridge and spend some time in Texas. Then we will head to Alabama to climb at Sand Rock. We're gonna head to Tennessee. We're gonna head to Kentucky. If you're a climber, you're gonna recognize all of those states. So we're excited, but also kind of bittersweet because this is the longest we've spent in any place during van life. We spent 6 weeks here. We were just calling Hidalgo here home for the longest time, and it's really nice to be able to walk into grocery stores and be like, oh look, they moved the pastries, now they're next to the tostadas. And seeing the flowers blossom, seeing the season kind of turn over from winter into spring. Suddenly everything is green here. And yeah, I don't know. How do you ever really know when business is finished or when a chapter ends, or, you know, is the transition itself the chapter closing, or does it close before you move on? Last summer we were saying to each other, wouldn't it be awesome if we could send some kick-ass projects and climb as hard as we possibly can? And during the beginning of van life, like, you saw us struggle through figuring out how to live this lifestyle, searching for communities and friends that we could rely on and touch base with. And after we started finding that community, getting used to van life, finally we got to experience the climbing that I think we were hoping for, and it even exceeded our expectations. Because we got to invite some of our newest and dearest friends along with us into this passion of ours. It just feels so darn good, doesn't it?
Well, I'm struggling with traffic here.
I know you're struggling with Mexican traffic, so we will check out briefly.
Last step on our journey back to the States. Border crossing. Yeah, still curious if they're gonna
Tear apart the van.
van.
Open all the drawers. Inspect all the food stuffs. Any avocado seeds? Ooh. Okay. Alright, so wanted to capture this moment of how easy it was to cross the border into Texas at the Columbia Bridge. The US officers here were actually super chill. Obviously the same slate of questions. What do we do for work? What are we in the States for? We're heading back to Canada, so that pretty much ended the conversation. And I'm really sad because they didn't want a van tour. They just wanted us to open up the back and let them peek in and see that we weren't, I don't know, trafficking anything, I guess. Good morning, it is the next day. How are you doing?
This was a super quiet night. No barking dogs, no loud cars, no loud music. But I think I still miss Mexico.
You missing Mexico already?
Yeah, already.
So last night we arrived at Southwest Farms as part of the Harvest Host Network. There aren't that many good spots to camp at in like Texas and on the east side of the US. We didn't find anything that was super appealing on iOverlander, and then we remembered we had a Harvest Host membership that we should probably make use of. So here we are at the farm this morning, and like Moritz said, peaceful sleep. I think today we're just gonna hit the road again, get to Austin area.
I feel relieved that we're back in the States, because that was one more big step towards going further north now that the summer starts. Well, I don't know how dark that looks or if you can hear the sirens, but there's a huge weather system rolling in, and we have a tornado warning for Dallas and I don't know what. Did you get the warning on your phone too?
Yeah, I got it earlier.
We're currently hiding behind a Walgreens and hope that nothing happens. And I guess we'll keep you updated during the storm. Do you see it?
Doesn't this remind you of
beautiful British Columbia, BBC. The sirens have stopped, and now the weather looks like this, so the whole system disappeared, which is good, I guess.
Thankfully, that was uneventful. Some really extremely loud thunder.
Some, I don't know, pinky-sized hail.
Yeah.
Was a bit loud for 5 minutes, and now it's back to rain.
Now we're just gonna wait out the weather and see.
Hopefully, it's gonna be quiet tonight. Good morning, YouTube. I didn't sleep so well.
We like half lucked out with this spot yesterday. It's a beautiful spot. We're backed up onto a river, which I'm not sure which river it is, and we are currently outside Birmingham in Alabama. So we've been driving, clocking in those kilometers to get our butts over to Sand Rock, Alabama, which is another awesome climbing spot. And we're slowly making our way back up to Toronto to get some business sorted out. And It's just so beautiful here. The birds were chirping this morning. There were some fishermen on the river floating by. The sky is blue, nary a cloud. I don't talk like that. The only downside to this spot is the highway behind us with loud semis going by all night. Driving through the rest of Texas was crazy. Google changed our routing and directions on us, so gave us an extra 2-hour drive. Mississippi was pretty boring. Mississippi felt a little bit like Saskatchewan or Manitoba. Like you didn't even realize you were done driving through it when you drove through it. Louisiana. Yeah, we drove through Louisiana, Mississippi pretty quick. Stayed at a Walmart. And speaking of staying at Walmart, I read an article recently about reasons why van lifers fail at van life. And usually I'm not very opinionated about things, or maybe I am just off camera, but this guy was just shitting on people who camp out at Walmarts because in the 6 months that he's been on van life, he's never had to sleep at night at a Walmart. And his 4 reasons were all, I mean, they were all valid, but kind of not very empathetic or emotionally intelligent or considerate of what other people's circumstances might be. He basically said you're lazy because you don't drive far enough for a free campsite that has beautiful views, as if some people are not just driving through cities to get to another destination faster. He also said you're unorganized and you don't plan. Well, maybe there's bad weather, or maybe there are a lot of variables happening during van life, and sometimes you just want to show up and figure it out when you get there, and Walmart's the best option for you. And a couple of other things which I can't remember anymore. So yeah, I highly disagree with his opinions. You do not fail at van life if you sleep in a Walmart parking lot and like not wake up to beautiful views every day. Like, what a way to romanticize this lifestyle even more. I don't get it. But anyhow, we should be in Sandrock later today after we run a bit more errands. Birmingham is a pretty big city, so we're hoping to knock a lot of those off and get some climbing in.
Finally a quiet spot to stay for the night. That looks pretty cool. We have the rocks right behind us. That's pretty nice.
Oh wow.
I like it.
Oh, that was a high step. Oh, that hurt my hip a little.
See how bad this one is.
How bad it is. It's sandstone.
Oh, it looks pretty nice.
You love how you picked like an overhanging one for the warm up.
Well, there's not much else.
Got you. I'm locked in. Check your knot.
No.
All right, climb on. So as you can see, we're properly struggling on sandstone here. We thought that our training in EPC would translate over well. Our fingers feel really strong, but I can't pull on anything.
No.
It's really hard to pull on anything. The rock is great. The texture is awesome. The weather is amazing, as you can see. But yeah, this is what's so humbling about rock climbing is every time you go to a different location, the rock, the texture, its length, finding the route, all of that adds up to a whole different experience. And we're finding it a little awkward to be filming here because there's so much traffic. It's a very family friendly place, which is awesome, but I'm craving a little bit more like remote adventuring. Maybe like a backpacking trip. I think this is the line Misty. Should be a 10C sport climb.
It looks kind of hard.
Looks hard? Bring a bale beaner.
Oh.
It's supposed to be 4 stars. Moritz, I need a hand. That's ominous. Whoa.
Yep.
I'm amused by how this boulder is just balanced on 2 other boulders. So another day of climbing at Sand Rock was super fun. That last route was crazy fun. You saw us dangling at some parts of it because...
Well, that is not slap like we did the past 6 weeks. So now we have to work on our upper body strength.
Yeah, I like dry fired off in the middle there and lost a ton of skin. It hurt like crazy, but it's a ton of fun. It's like gym climbing. It's so burly. I've never like so much in my life, so much war cry. But anyhow, we're gonna get back to the van now and then we'll see you there. All right, so we're both nicely showered. Is someone gonna comment that we shouldn't be sticking Q-tips in our ears because that's bad for our health? Probably.
I know I'm still alive.
I think we're gonna have a self-care night tonight. What do you think?
Sure.
My skin's been like really suffering ever since we started van life, and we were recently gifted with face masks. Oh, and some Christmas cards. We have some aloe, some hyaluronic acid, and green tea. Ready? Hey, how you doing?
Still slip.
All right, well, that concludes another episode. Thank you all for coming with us to Cherokee Rock Village and checking out Sand Rock, Alabama. It's so awesome to be vlogging again, and yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much for everybody who left us a little donation to our coffee cash box.
Bought Moritz a beer, bought me a coffee.
Beer.
We appreciate all of you that have done that. So thank you so much.
And then we'll be back on the road, getting up to Kentucky next episode.
See ya.
See ya.
On the road to bitches.